pasa? Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Welcome back. Episode 35 now. Yep, episode 35 of the Locked Up podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back to, I guess you could say, episode 2 of How They Lookin. Now, if you missed the previous episode, we broke down, our favorite players, your favorite players. We're going to go ahead and do this. It's going to be a reoccurring segment because the NBA is back, baby. And if you missed yesterday's video, I'll put it up here or wherever it pops up on YouTube so you guys can go watch it. We broke down Zion Williamson's return yesterday. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to break down the Slim Reaper, the one and only Kevin Durant. He's back.
Hey, it's fitting. Episode 35.
Hey! What is that? What is he saying?
Rapper 35
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking
everybody
that.
35 and under. Or it's like
just thinking that.
Like KD, we relate, we get the same attention, you know?
You beat me to it.
I was already on it. The only said 35, I was already trying to think of the line.
Me too. Me too.
Rated money, Oklahoma City Thunder.
We'll spend a couple of minutes in the intro, though, to talk about something else that's happened that I woke up to. If you guys aren't into this and you want to go straight to KD, I'll put the timestamps in the description. But I want to touch on my man's out of Milwaukee. The bag has been secured. We gave congrats to a couple of the boys a few weeks ago who got some maxes. Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox. Who else? D. Mitch, a bunch of those players. A bunch of those dudes got the max, but man, congrats is in order for the largest contract in NBA history. My man's Giannis Antetokounmpo signed a 5-year, $228 million deal. Bruv, that's $45 million a year.
Oh, crazy.
About $45 million. Yeah.
My guy Giannis.
Let's get a couple minutes on this, and we'll get to the bulk of the video that is KD. How they looking? Congrats is in order to Giannis. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm happy for Milwaukee and the city of Milwaukee. They must be very, very relieved, anxiety relieved. Now the front office can just purely focus on building around Giannis and not having to worry about plan B at the same time kind of thing. So all the focuses are one. But I ain't feeling the Milwaukee team though. I feel like if they did what they tried to do and get Bogdano in there, then it would have been like a lethal team. But without that Bogdano trade, it really made it not as crazy as it could have been. So the team is pretty meh, and I hope Giannis gets better, but I don't think Giannis is going to make that kind of jump to where he 2018 LeBron Cavs action and just carries and forces his team to the finals. So I hope, but they have a couple of years to suss it. So maybe next year or the year after that, maybe he can attract someone to come to him because that's what he wants. So we'd have to see. I hope Milwaukee suss it and not waste these years. That's my thoughts.
To be honest, I'm really happy for Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Milwaukee did this unless they have the intention. Because what have I said, bro? I consider me personally, and I know everyone probably agrees, I consider Giannis a big man. A top 5 big man needs a top 5 guard. Okay, Shaq needed Kobe, Shaq needed Penny, Wilt needed Jerry West. It's the history has shown that no matter how good you are as a big man, you need a guard. They didn't get him a Chris Paul. I do believe that Drew Holiday is an upgrade from Eric Bledsoe. But as much as I love Drew Holiday, he's not a top 5 point guard.
He ain't the one, yeah.
I've been saying, bro, if Giannis wants to win a championship, that man needs to go and play with Steph Curry. They will murder the league if he plays with Curry.
That would be wild and dangerous.
That would be it. That's a modern day Kobe and Shaq. That's that's the new dynamic duo, right? The 1-2 punch. Lobs to him or absolute sniper.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Giannis in a different uniform.
Yeah,
so
we're
not going to see it.
So what I say is, if I'm Giannis, I'm going to give the Bucks, because, bro, let's face it, this is a player-dominated league, which is also why I think this isn't as smart for the Bucks, is Hey, man, and as much as I love Adam Silver, he ain't got the cojones that rest his soul David Stern has, right? We all know it's an unwritten thing that back in the day, David Stern was telling these players to stay in your lane. I got this. Players are doing it themselves now, right? Players like LeBron and KD dictated their future and set the tone for players to go do what they want to do. So if I'm Giannis, I'm giving the Bucks 2 years. I'm giving them 2 years.
He has an opt-out after the 4th year.
Yeah, but I mean, he could request a trade and it could turn ugly. It's like but requesting trades these days are like ugly divorces. Just divorces gone bad. So I mean, if I'm Giannis, I give him 2 years, maybe 3, because Giannis is a nice guy. I don't think he will end things sourly with Milwaukee. I just don't see him winning because I don't see anybody wanting to come to Milwaukee. Right?
Yeah.
The best bet would have been Chris Paul, and they didn't get him. So I don't know. I'm very interested. Congrats to Giannis for getting the bag.
Congrats to Giannis. He's a good guy. I appreciate the fact that, he grew up in America, in Milwaukee, and that's the team that, gave him a shot, and he's grown to the nice man that he is today. So, he's rewarding that franchise for taking care of him. And hopefully they take care of him even more and suss him a championship.
Yeah.
Or even contending for real.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I want to see Giannis win. So, with that being said, let's move on to the main segment of the day. How they looking? Let me take this away. Kevin Durant edition. So the Slim Reaper made his return for the first time in like 500 and something days. 18 months, I think it was. He was out from an Achilles tear. If there's anything more notorious than Biggie, it's an Achilles tear. So, man, it was, you didn't know what you were going to get out of KD. We sort of made our assumptions as to what he should do to maintain his skill at the highest he possibly can. Overall thoughts before we, by the way, if you guys missed the previous video, we break them down into different sections of their game. We don't break down the player himself and the actions he's taken in the past. So that will be a very bad bias towards KD. I'm not a fan of what he did a couple of years ago. So I'm going to critique his game and I'm going to not get emotionally involved. Neither should you. So to start off with, just an overall view of his debut a few days ago against the Wizards.
Slim Reaper is back, baby. Uh-oh. Man, his jump shot looking wet, dog. Once again, saw the free throws, and I knew what it was.
You knew the deal.
He started off like 3 for 3, and I was like, uh-oh. He started off with a dunk, which was pretty impressive considering Achilles tear, trying to show that he can still do that. Because one thing we would say is, oh, you ain't Golden State no more. You're not going to have those easy drives no more. But he did it off the gate, so that's something I was surprised about. His jump shot looking slick, so...
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things as to why I'm not going to get too hyped for this because number one, it's preseason, right? So number two, they were, no disrespect, they were versing the closest thing to a G League team as you can get. So they were versing the Wizards without Beal, Russ, and Bertans.
Yeah,
so
see, I wanted Russ playing that game, man. I wanted Russ to spoil KD's return and give Kyrie some work.
Would have been.
And Kyrie popped off too, so Kyrie even did better and more efficient than KD, which is pretty wild. But
well, that's the thing, right? Is KD as nice as it was to see that shot again and all that, he did look a little bit rusty at times, which is fine. He shot 5 of 12. Let me pull up his stats real quick. So he got 15 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 of 12, 0 of 2 from deep. 2 blocks, which was really good. So overall, man, he did have a good game.
He didn't shoot as well second half, but that's okay. He ain't hit a 3 yet, but that's okay. I ain't worried about his threes.
No, I'm not worried about that either.
That's another thing that you mentioned that impressed me is that not only did he get that dunk in the first quarter, he also got a couple of stops and a block. Because that was something that he really stepped up and improved in Golden State. He was really rim protecting a lot. He was rising up and contesting a lot of shots. And that's he's taking some time off. He might be a bit weaker. Is he strong enough to keep doing that? But looks like he will be. So I'm impressed with that.
Right. So the first section of his game that I want to break down, which I think people were the most worried about, how they look in Kevin Durant edition explosiveness. Now, explosiveness is not necessarily windmills, right? It's like how quick, how snappy does he look?
I
How's
didn't
his
see
jab step
anything.
looking?
Didn't see anything too snappy, but that dunk was like a good sign that he's at least not scared to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't see him slither too much. No crazy quick euros, nothing like that, from what I
Yeah.
remember. So I didn't see anything went, oh snap. And to be honest, every time KD does a movement, I'm like biting
Yeah,
at
me
the
too.
nails. I'm nervous,
Me
man.
too.
I'm nervous. Thing is, his legs are just so skinny, man. They're so little. His calves are like
Very.
this, bro. And so, like anything, you can just easily picture it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
it
just
seemed
looks
like
like
it.
it can. So I just hope that doesn't happen, of course. But I still get scared and sort of, have a bit of a have a moment gasp every time he lands. But I think his explosiveness is okay. Like I think it's like 80% himself so far.
Yeah, I mean, So the dunk was nice. The dunk was very nice. He had like that quick step past the defender. He had a couple of drives which looked good. But the thing with KD is like I said, like how people had their assumptions of how he can come back as KD. I wouldn't worry about his explosiveness if I'm him, right? I would just
It's all about the
shoot.
shot.
I would develop the post game. I would develop
Oh,
the
hey,
best
he has
vert
a
shot.
post game. Don't worry
Yeah,
about that. He does that one
exactly.
leg action, turnaround jumper, and
Yeah.
post. Don't worry about it.
So that one leg action is really all he needs to average 25. So well that brings me to how we won't talk about his finishing because we didn't see that much. As opposed to Zion, the previous episode, that was all he did. So we won't break down his finishing today. He got a dunk and a layup. Looked good. How they look in Kevin Durant edition shooting?
Slim Reaper. It's
Slim
wet.
Reaper.
It is
Slim
wet,
Reaper.
dog. He's dripping. Just from the free throws, I knew what it was. And then
They
he did
were
it. He did it. He did a post up turnaround one legger, by the way, right
I
away.
did
That was
see
like his
that.
first
I
shot.
saw
And
that.
the moment that went in, I was like, uh-oh. But
That was it.
like you said, it was against the Wizards, so we need to see what happens if he has a Giannis on him, an AD on him, a LeBron on him, a Leonard on him, even a Paul George on him. Can he still sauce people like that? But his shot is looking good, so
It is
that's
looking
scary,
good.
man. It's scary. I think that's the one thing that like ain't leaving KD. He's the same shooter, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's why I think players like Clay and stuff it's obviously going to phase them, but their game isn't that, right? You're not as worried about it as John Wall or Cousins, where you need a bang and you need to rise up. So that's and with his shooting, like I said, he did look a little bit uncomfortable on the court. I did notice he wasn't flowing, and he didn't look like
New
water on the
team.
court.
He's not like with his
Yeah,
new teammates, all that.
new
Hasn't played in
team,
ages.
new team hasn't played in 18 months. Yeah, so that's going to take some time. But overall, I think when he gets in his groove, this shooting is going to be dangerous. It's going to be so dangerous. But like I
He's
said,
the best shooter in the league, in my opinion. Even more than Steph.
He's not better than
I
Steph.
think he rocked up. I think he rocked up in Golden State and proved to Steph that I can do what you do, but at 7 foot.
No. Steph let him do that.
I reckon Curry won in practice, but KD won in games. If that makes sense.
Steph let him do that, and I'll tell you why, bro. Because I watched the other day, actually a few days ago. I was chilling out and I watched the full game. I watched the OKC Warriors game where in Oklahoma where Curry dropped like 46 and that massive game winner from half court.
No,
it was in the regular season. And I was watching that. I was like, "Oh, this is
remember
ridiculous."
that game.
I was like, "Oh God, this is ridiculous." And KD was balling as well. I think he dropped like 38 in that game. And I'm looking and I'm like, "Yeah, there's no way. There's absolutely no way."
But Curry hasn't been in that mode in a minute
because he's had KD.
I know it's because he had KD. But do you think? Okay, so do you think Steph Curry can come back to that? Because that was like, because he had a stretch where like he would get like an end of quarter buzzer beater like every second game. It was
every
like, so
time.
normal. It was so normal. It was actually regular.
It was normal for him to like rest the fourth quarter as well. It was normal. He didn't play the fourth
that badly. Yeah, I hope LeBron goes that route.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't go that route.
Oh, I just think it's just the offensive, like, and it's I saw a stat where it's like the list of all-time three-point leaders, and he's like third or second or something, but he's done it in half the games.
Yeah, half the game.
It's like Reggie Miller,
thousands, and he's like in the hundreds still.
495. It's just like what?
Yeah.
So there's just no way, bro. There's no way. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. This is a category I want to talk about because I was very impressed with this category. How they look in Kevin Durant edition. Playmaking.
I knew it.
Playmaking. I was very impressed.
I think KD's IQ has really stepped up over like the last 3 years. I feel like he's really thinking high level, trying to understand how can I be like LeBron, you know? How does LeBron do these things? How does he set up and force his teammates to be better? He's definitely nowhere near that stage, but he's definitely getting better. I think he's definitely stepped up on the defense. That's like the one thing that KD surprised me about over the past couple of years. It's more so his defense and his playmaking, but his playmaking is there as well. He can get a couple of assists a game. But to be honest, in this team, that's going to be Kyrie's role. Kyrie better be feeding KD that ball.
He better take the Curry route and feed KD. And but the thing with KD and his passing, I don't expect him to be. I don't want him to be that level of a playmaker. He doesn't have to be. So he can dominate. He dominate in other ways, you know.
But it's there. It's cheeky there.
It's definitely there. It's definitely there. Like he had some nice like bounce passes through a pick and roll. He had a nice roll to DeAndre Jordan, who, by the way, wow, he's in that team as well. God.
Well, I think he's definitely more in shape. I think he knew, like, this is the year I have KD, Kyrie. It's a time for me to try. I definitely think he's a lot slimmer this year than what he looked like last year. So I think that's great because him and Allen are going to be like, lob threats. They can contest shots, and KD can also rise up, but he's not rising up against a 5. He's rising up against a 3 or a 4, which makes it even easier for KD to get that block. So I think DeAndre Jordan better be running up and down that court, and we need to see some of that Lob City action, that Chris Paul action.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I liked the most about seeing this game was I didn't get that as much as we're going to be chanting against this team come Laker time or anything like that. I didn't get that villain feeling that Clippers gave me, that Warriors gave me. I didn't get that I hate you feeling. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Which is funny because
I am down for this team all the way up until they lose to LeBron in the finals. That's it. I want this team to be as sweaty as possible, as entertaining as possible, and even as scary as possible. But as long as they lose to LeBron in the end, I'm happy with it. I want them to play well. They are an entertaining team. I'm hating on KD. Was one of my favorite players until he moved to Golden State, and when he moved to Golden State, it killed my buzz. I hated watching Warriors game. Like you said, I literally couldn't even enjoy watching those games. But Brooklyn games, I am keen. And to be honest, what makes Brooklyn scary is their depth as well. They're probably one of the deepest teams in the league on top. LeVert,
if not the deepest,
if not the deepest, probably the deepest, to be honest. It's a scary team, but I'm excited to watch. I want that show. I hope that Kyrie and KD sort of, avoid the dramas and just focus on ball, and we'll be entertained.
Yeah, and stay healthy. That's another thing.
And healthy.
Kyrie's had some injuries, so hopefully he can stay healthy.
He gets like dinged up every season.
Our man's talked to the media. He broke his silence yesterday, did he? Or a few days ago,
Yeah.
Didn't work, did it?
He had to walk back his Steve Nash comments.
Had to talk to the pawns, did you, Kyrie? Yeah. Anyways, moving on. So how they look in Kevin Durant edition, we did touch on this briefly, so we won't spend too much time. His defense. So like you said yesterday, in the Zion Williamson edition, defense is not a very easy thing to break down in the preseason because nobody plays it. Nobody cares about it, and fair enough. But, man, KD put his Intimidator badge on.
And
He put his
exactly,
badge
that's
on.
exactly how you should phrase it. He put the badges on Intimidator, and
He
he
put
rolled
the
up and
Intimidator back.
tested a few shots. So it's great.
Yeah.
I love how he tested it out. He tested out a dunk, tested out a contest, got a block, and then he chilled out. I can do it. Still got it, and yeah. So not too bad. Not too
I was
bad.
very
Still
happy.
has it. He had a huge defensive presence on Golden State. And I think he really needs to keep that going for Brooklyn, because that also sets the tone. When LeBron tried on defense, you saw how the Lakers tried on defense.
Yeah. And that was it, right?
The year before, though, when LeBron wasn't trying on defense, many easy layups. LeBron going like this, right? We didn't get to see that a lot. We didn't see none of that this year.
That was a write-off year last year, the year before that. But yeah, overall, man, like I said, personal feelings aside, the man is one of the best. I think he's the best scorer of all time. I was really interested to see how he would come back. I will never forget him crushing the entire NBA world and moving to a 73-win team. But nevertheless, man, the dude, I think has still got it, and I think I think
it's time we release some of our hate, because LeBron's on 4. He's got double what KD has, so it's okay. KD has to go through a lot to try and match him up. We were getting mad because KD was on the path of just tying him like 3 years in a row.
I wasn't getting mad. I was getting mad because as a man, you just can't do something like that, bro. You can't do something like, you surely have more pride than that.
Look, this is literally LeBron in Cavs action, but with a better team for KD once again, with a better situation. If he earns a chip in Brooklyn, it will be highly, or much more respected.
Much more, man. Hey, man, you want to be LeBron so bad? Go back and win one in Oklahoma. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Well, we will leave you all with that, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else you want to say, Aslam?
Oh man, he ain't going back to OKC because the Rock is in there. That's all it's good to see KD. I'm hopping on the Brooklyn train up until they verse the Lakers.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want them to win the East.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, timestamps are in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Who do you want to see on How They Lookin'? What do you guys think of Kevin Durant's return? And we will see you guys at episode 36. Peace.